Right, yo. Hello, my name is Michael Salmon, and welcome to another episode of Late to the Party. And it seems like a while since I did the last one, but I've had a few things to sort out, and well, you know, all right. It's how life goes sometimes, innit? But anyway, well, Meghan and Harry, haven't they opened one big can of worms, one huge piece of worms, yeah? And that is, or the question is the animosity shown towards them over what they're doing and the actions that they've done in the past?
But now, their words are being turned on their head a bit, and they're being criticized in the British media for using private jets extensively.
Is it due to racism, yeah, or down to racism, or is it just simple criticism, as many would say?
Well, I think there's been a lot of criticism of Meghan from the beginning. I mean, we know that the first time we realised Prince Harry was actually dating Meghan was because there was the press release from Kensington Palace.
Is it now not an easy excuse? Any criticism, people say, oh, well, it's racist.
Well, I think there was racism from the beginning. Her mother, there was talk of her being straight out of Compton when she lived in LA. I think there has been racism, and people talk about Meghan, they use words like outsider, when they never said that about Kate.
But before I continue, yeah, I want you to watch this clip, so I'm going to pause right now.
I'm probably going to get a salad. No, what's this guy doing in here? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when people are that fat. Why don't you just leave now? Do yourself a favour.
I think you've had way too much.
I think you should actually just leave now, because you're just like, why don't you just leave? You're so fat already. Like, just leave. Do yourself a favour. Go for a jog. Go jog on. Huh?
Why are you guys saying that?
Because he's fat enough. Look at him. Why is he in here? He should just like go for a walk, go for a long jog. Well, I'm just trying to help him. What? You think that he should carry on eating more McDonald's? It's fat, mate. Nah. Yeah. And our government pay for it, don't they? You work for the NHS, so you should see. So you should see how much he costs the NHS just for being in McDonald's, costing the NHS. You know what? Why don't you get a salad? Why don't you get a fucking salad, mate? Disgusting.
What are you doing?
Disgusting.
Look at the size of him.
So what?
What?
So what?
Look at him. Look at him.
Look, what?
Now, as you can see from this clip, yeah, these two women obviously have an issue with larger people, right? And they viciously attacked this guy. And I'm sure we can all agree that the way that they conducted themselves was absolutely, you know, it was bang out of order. It was just out there taking and it was out of order. Let's put it that way, yeah? Now, the thing is, excuse me, there are some, in their assault upon this person with their own views and values, there are some home truths in what they had to say.
You're so fat already. Yeah, but don't get food. Don't eat anymore.
Yeah, and because when you look at the guy, you know, he did, you know, losing a few pounds, yeah, wouldn't actually hurt him. And, you know, he did look like the kind of guy that, you know, would go into the gym, eating a salad, as they said, would, you know, wouldn't go miss. You know what I mean?
Do yourself a favour. Go for a jog. Go jog on.
Right, so there are some truths in what they had to say. It's just the way that they conducted it and the way they went about it was terrible, right? And I also noticed that when they were confronted about it, the way that they justified themselves was by saying, you know,
yeah, and our government pay for it, don't they? You work for the NHS, so you should see how much he costs the NHS just for being in McDonald's, costing the NHS.
Blah, 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 this, that, and the other, which is also true. And that's the bit that I was interested in, because the way that they wrapped their truths, as I would call it, their truths, yeah, they wrapped their dislike for the guy, right, in some home truths about the situation that he's in. And somehow they saw it as a way to justify the reason for their attack, yeah, when obviously they kind of caught that right up by
her, like, what's this guy doing in here? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when people are that fat, should they really even be, like, in here? It's disgusting.
Their true incentive or their true motive is already blown from they open their mouths. But it's interesting though, isn't it? How I find it interesting that is that, is that what other people do? Is that how these media outlets do it? They take these home truths, right, and use them home truths to disguise their true nature or the racism that they have from within. You know what I mean?
All the things that you listed about why people are upset, like the demands for privacy and the spending, if there is to be criticism, I don't know why she's bearing 85 to 95% of it.
And I find that quite interesting. Or that's the kind of concept that I come up with as to why a lot of people will argue that it's not racism, it's just criticism. Yeah?
Where has been the racism?
Let's look at the way she has been compared to, let's say, Kate. So I'm going to give you 3 examples.
This is
pointless
what you're about to do.
Not, no,
you're about to take three...
Well, hang on.
But racist or not, the headlines have certainly been on the bias side. They've been quite negative, and I think once you start to feel that way, I think that's the hardest thing with this is how do you prove that, you know, it's racist? It's quite hard to prove, but I think for many people of colour, it's a feeling more so.
What does that have to do with racism, right? And like I said, the first part is the disguise, yeah? Because what you can do, or what they'll do, is nitpick at little things. Don't like the shoes. Shouldn't be wearing that. Didn't go here. You can't do that and you can't do this. These are little things that you can, tangible things that you can nitpick at.
You got hoop earrings. You can't get it with hoop earrings. Sorry.
Hoop earrings?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll just take them off. What you mean? What you tripping for?
I mean, you got a fade. You don't have a fade. You need a fade.
I need a fade?
That's
that. I brought my barber with me just in case. Come on. Hey, go ahead and line me up. I got my barber with me, so we should be good. I said, no matter. You have a jacket on.
A
jacket? Oh, I'll take that jacket off. Here, hold that for me.
What about, you can't get on the phones? Can't get on the phones?
No phones here. Ain't got no phone.
That's a $20 cover charge.
$20 cover? Oh, I got money. You should have just told me I got money.
No, you black, bro. You black. You cannot get in. You black. You're not getting in here.
So just like, for example, in an office or in an employment environment, yeah, excuse my phone, yeah, where you might have one person who doesn't like someone else, but they know that they can't blatantly come out and say it because they'll end up in HR. So what they'll do is they'll nitpick at little things. Oh, you seen the way they eat? Or have you? Oh, bloody hell, phone. Have you seen the way they eat? Or have you seen, how they do this? Or you know them kind of people.
Toby is in HR, which technically means he works for corporate, so he's really not a part of our family. Also, he's divorced, so he's really not a part of his family.
And you'll be like, well,
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be. You think I framed you, and you're worried about the taxpayer?
But they just won't let it go, yeah? So that's the disguise part. So where does the racism part come in? And for me, the racism part comes in when you're inconsistent, yeah, with the people or the group that you're targeting, yeah? So for example, when you look at BuzzFeed, yeah, they did a comparison of headlines between Meghan and Kate. And within these headlines, you can see that Meghan gets a lot of negative ones and Kate gets a lot of positive ones, roughly based around the same thing. So for example, Kate says that she likes avocados. They go, yeah, avocados are great. Meghan says she likes avocados. She gets slaughtered for contributing to the trade of avocado and the, what do we call it? I can't remember what they called it. But something to do with the devastation of land or whatever. But at the end of the day, Kate got praised for having avocados. Meghan got berated for it. Same with like the baby bump, yeah? Same again like with the flowers, you know what I mean? These inconsistencies. Another example would be, I think, child abuse, for example, yeah? Where some people to highlight how Muslim gangs are going around terrorizing young girls up north. Yeah, which is true. This is true. She's not lying, right? However, she'll not mention or say anything or have anything to say when it comes to pedophiles who happen to be white. Yeah. When their story breaks out, there's no. She says nothing. There's nothing to be said there. And for me, it's that inconsistency when you're pointing out the discrepancies of one group and not pointing out the discrepancies of your own, especially if they're deemed to be doing the same thing. That's the racist part. So now you have the two elements, yeah? You have the disguise, which is the nitpicking and all of that, and then you have the racist part, which is the inconsistency if you're going to point out discrepancies. So that leaves it down to the question what I was pointing out before, right? And my question is this: is it racism that's the driving force, or is it the actions of the person, the motivation for someone who wants to expose their ill doings or their whatever it is? Yeah. No, that didn't come out right. Let me reword that. Is the motive for exposing someone for their wrongdoings or whatever, is it due to racism? Yeah. Or is it due to the actions of what that person did? Why the person who's doing the exposing is doing it? Yeah, that makes more sense. Let me know in the comments below. You'll figure out what I've just said. You'll figure it out, even though I didn't explain it very well. You'll figure it out because I know it makes sense. Yeah, but let me know in the comments below. Yeah, my name is Michael Salmon, and this is an episode of Late to the Party. I'm out. Peace, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, I'm out. Peace.